Everyone knows GenSpark is an absolute powerhouse. You can generate AI slides, AI sheets, AI docs, AI images, videos, and a lot more. It's an all-in-one AI workspace backed by the top AI models. It went from a concept to a 250 million annual occurring revenue in just 12 months. So needless to say, it is an incredibly powerful and large application. However, most of you using it are actually burning through tokens, burning through your credits way too fast. I found a hidden workflow that will cut your usage down in half. If you're still using the default prompts for AI sheets, you're essentially throwing money away. So I'm going to show you how to fix it. As always, I will have a link in the description below, but it is genspark.ai. And like I was saying before, you have access to so many different tools and you can see all the different agents that they have. So for slides, sheets, docs, if you click them, you're going to have a brand new mode called guide mode. And this mode here, this workflow is the workflow that I was talking about. So with guide mode enabled, when you go to generate your slides or your docs or whatever you're using it for, it's not going to guess what you want. It's going to ask questions ahead of time. It's going to ask questions before it actually starts building. So previously, if you typed in your prompt, it would actually just start building your slide, for example, and it would guess totally at what you wanted, and it would burn credits. It would burn your tokens, and then you'd have to go back and then prompt it again and say, hey, I want all of this changed. However, because guide mode follows up with you and says, hey, what do you actually want? You're going to save credits and time. So say we had a prompt here that said, I want a slide about traveling Japan, and I can hit go. Guide mode is going to break this down into 3 stages. It's going to collect all the data it needs from us, then it's going to organize that data, and then it's going to analyze it all and create our slide. So you can see here on the left, we have our slide settings, we have our prompt that we put in, and we can see what our AI agent is doing. So you can see here, it's beginning phase 1, it's researching, it's saying, hey, based off my research, here's some of the best places, it's understanding our audience, and it's saying, okay, this could be aimed at a lot of different people. So each audience would need a different emphasis. So let me know what your requirement is. And you can see we have like some quick options and we have to click next. So maybe we said potential travelers to Japan and it's just like one click. And now we're helping the model know exactly what we want. So it's going to give us a better outcome. All right, let's go for like persuasive audience to visit or educate, or maybe we want to inspire, or maybe we want something other altogether and we can add additional details. So we can always talk to the AI, we can talk to the AI agent and say, hey, this is what we're looking for. So for the sake of me, I'm going to go inspire. And then again, we can kind of keep going through and answer all of these questions. So how will this presentation be delivered? Live presentation, online meeting, or is it a read-only document? And this all matters because if you're sending this off to someone, you might want to have more information than if you were like doing live speaking, because less is more in a live speaking presentation. So it is really cool that it now breaks it down and says, hey, what are you looking for? So you can see here, I said, hey, I'm going to email this out to someone. So it will be a little bit more information heavy. And then it says, how do you want to get the sources? And we can provide our own material. We can do research and material. We can do other. We can just say, hey, AI, can you do it all for us? So this is extremely powerful, again, because it's no longer guessing about what it wants. It knows exactly what you want. And even before it goes and starts generating what we need, it's going to ask us another series of questions. So like I said earlier, it's really detail oriented. It's going to make sure that it's going to get it right on the first time. So do we want like first time visitors, people who've been there before, a mix of both? Let's say people who've been there before, and how long will they be traveling there for? So 2 to 3 weeks. And is there any interest that we want to toggle on? So this time around, it isn't like hey, pick one. It can say, hey, do you want to pick multiple things? So we can pick like, let's say those 3, we can hit next, and now we can see what the next one is. So what's our desired presentation length? Do we want to cover all the essentials? Do we want to have a focus? Or do we want something like quick inspirational or other? So let's just go focused highlights, and we're going to hit submit. And once again, the agent's going to take in all the answers we gave it and then decide, hey, do we have any more questions for you? Do we need to clear up anything else? Or are we good to go? And so now we're looking at regional coverage. So do we want a mix of regions? Do we have anything specific in mind? Or like your recommendations? I'll let them recommend. And what's our budget? So is it flexible, luxury, mid-range? Is not important. So let's go like mid, somewhere in between. And now it says seasonal focus. So best all year round recommendations, or we can go for a certain time of the year. So like I said, it is very, very detailed. And I know you're thinking, hey, won't this take more credits? No, it actually takes a lot less because it's going to get it right. You're going to spend a lot less time regenerating slides that are wrong. You can actually read through like the content focus and everything else. And then if you're happy with everything, the elevator pitch and all the content it's going to cover, then it says, hey, does this capture what you're looking for? And I said, yeah, let's proceed to the research phase. So guide mode does exactly what it says it does. It guides you through every step of the way. And this is just one of many different things I'm going to show you in this video to help you save money when using GenSpark. And if you want to learn more about AI, don't forget to subscribe because I cover AI on a daily basis. And then in case you're wondering, the design is also all up to you. So you can see informational density decisions and visual design decisions and everything. And then it says, hey, do you agree with this plan? You can approve. You can say good direction, but I want to make adjustments. I have my own assets and colors I want to use. I'm just going to say I approve. And we're going to say, hey, let's continue going. Let's get our slide made. And you can see now our slide, after all our back and forth, we have exactly what we're looking for. So you can see the main page here. It looks really good. Finding the hidden gems. It goes through. It has like the budget range we're asking. It found all the different places. It looks and feels amazing. Right? So this, in theory, should have no edits required because it has exactly what I'm looking for. So you can see like the tech forward experience. And if we go back up, we can see like the difficulty with natural landscapes. So it has literally everything. So it has the different routes and itineraries for our 2 to 3 weeks. So if you notice, my original prompt was like really simple, but now we have like an entire practical travel guide and it's done a very good job. So guide mode makes it where the AI doesn't have to guess anymore. Now let's rapid fire through some suggestions to save credits. Then I'll take you through another workflow that's just going to change how you're using GenSpark. So if you're talking to AI and you have a thread going on and you're talking back and forth and the thread gets too long, start a new thread. You can ask the AI to compress and summarize your chat within GenSpark. So you can take the summarized text that GenSpark gives you and then use that for your new chat. Ultimately, saving credit comes down to reducing unnecessary back and forth. And this last tip ties in to what I'm about to show you. You're back on GenSpark, and instead of going through guided mode through like slides, sheets, docs, because guide mode works on all of those, this time around, you're going to generate an AI video. And when you do that, you're going to come to a screen that looks like this. And now you have a ton of options. Again, you can use all the top models, or you can say like auto select. It's going to pick whatever model it thinks best. But you do have access to like Seedance 2, Gemini, like Gemini Veo 3.1, Sora, Kling. You get access to all of it, okay? So we're going to pick auto, and then we also have settings. You can choose the aspect ratio, you can choose the time, we can say auto prompt, we can see assets, everything like that. So we're going to start off with like something simple. The lady puts on a crown, and if you don't know, this is AI Dana, the AI version of my wife, and we are going to make a little video of her putting on a crown. Nothing too complex yet, right? So you probably generate quite a few videos yourself and you're wondering, hey, how do I save tokens? How do I save credit generating videos? So now you can see the videos of AI Dana wearing her crown. And you can see here we have like the Seedance version, and that one looks pretty solid. We can go through, we have the Mini Max version, and you're going to see what this one looks like here in just a second. Not bad. Her arms just kind of come up. Doesn't look as natural. I think Seedance is the best so far. We can see Sora, and yes, I don't know what happens here. Her arms, yeah. Sora did something. It did something, that's for sure. And now we have Veo 3, and you can see Veo 3 over here, and again, that one's not terrible. It's not bad. So it's like ultimately it comes down between Veo 3 and Seedance 2. Depends on what you're looking for. We're going to use Veo 3 for a second. And it doesn't matter with any of these. It doesn't matter. You can see at the top, there's something called extend generation. We can actually click that. And now you're going to see in the bottom left, it says source selected. So we can say, hey, we want to describe the scene for our video. And it's going to actually take that video. It's going to take the last frame of that video and build on top of it. So now to extend this video, we can say, hey, make a bunch of mice, put them on a ballroom dress on her. And you're going to see here, it's just going to take that initial frame or the last frame and just extend it outwards. So now instead of regenerating a video or generating a whole new video, trying to like piece it together, you can just use the extend feature. And it's going to be a lot more efficient to get like that consistent flow that you're looking for. So you can see now the media agent is now extracting the last frame from the video, and it's going to generate the continuation of what we're looking for. And now you can see we have AI Dana. She's putting on the crown, and it's like the same original first clip we had, but it takes the last frame and just continues it forward with her and all her mice. And I know what you're wondering, how do I come up with these brilliant ideas, like a mice dressing someone in like this ballroom dress? It's a phenomenal idea. Maybe I should make a movie of this. All jokes aside, the ability to take a last frame and just continue it forward is a game changer. It will save you money. Okay, so speaking of saving money, one of the best things you can do is workflows. And you can see all the different templates that we have access to. So if you're doing a task more than once, you can build a workflow that's just going to automate it for you and do it over and over again. So maybe we want to look on Product Hunt every day and find like the coolest AI tools. Or maybe we want to check our spam and clean up our email or do daily unread email digest. We can do all these different automations that are just like built in. Alternatively, in the top right, we can actually hit new workflow. And now we can actually just start typing in and say, hey, what do we want to automate? From here, we can actually click down here and we can manage different connectors. So you can see we have access to a lot of different connectors that we can just automate right from GenSpark. So if we want to work with like Gmail, Drive, Notion, we can work with any of these and just automate the whole entire process. So maybe we want to do something with GitHub. We can do that. Maybe we want to access our Slack. All right, so let's try X because X is extremely difficult to work with. Even as a developer, this would be an absolute game changer. So let's hit connect and we're going to authorize the application. And now let's try something. So now we can say, hey, anytime I create a new YouTube video on and I give the link of my YouTube channel, make a tweet about it and we can hit go and it's going to work on this. So the AI is going to set up everything we need to make this workflow so I don't have to do this ever again. And you can see on the right, we do have access to like a canvas where we can like pick a starter if we want. We can say on a schedule or when I get an email, or we can choose different actions that we want it to do. And then we can also flip to like skills and files. So you can see all the different things that we do have access to. But anyway, let's come back here and you can see here, good. And let me read the Twitter skill doc and crawl, and it's going through and it's making the entire workflow for us. And you can kind of see how it's all working now. So we have our starter every 30 minutes. It's going to look, it's going to fetch the latest YouTube videos. It's going to compare to the latest known video. So it's going to keep track. It's going to get the full details of the video. It's going to compose a tweet, post a tweet, and then update the last seen video. And then it's going to write the results in a single completion. So we actually have something that's going to actually work and post all of our videos. And if you notice, when we went back to workflows and we went through all the templates, this exact workflow was not on the template, but you still have the ability to do it because their agents are that good. And then you can see at the bottom here, we can also hit turn on and you can see every 30 minutes, it's going to take about 200 to 500 tokens per run. They are very transparent of how many credits it's going to use every single time it works. This is important because now you can actually do the math and you can say, hey, I am going to waste X amount of time on this task every single day or multiple times a day, or maybe it's once a week. Now I don't have to remember it. Is it worth my money versus my time? And if you do it right, you can set up a lot of workflows that will just like automate and save you a ton of time, which means you can put your time towards something else. And what's really cool, even though we talk to an AI agent to set this all up, I can click any of them, like the starter, for example, and I can quickly say, okay, I don't want to do it every 30 minutes. Let's do it like every day because I only publish one video a day. I say only, right? So now we can adjust it and now it's going to do it every day instead of like every 30 minutes. And then we can also go through, we can see, okay, how is it actually getting our videos and what is it doing? And you can see everything it's doing along the way because you're still in charge. Like the human's still here. You can adjust the workflow, but once it's done, you don't have to, like, you just set it and forget it. So I think with workflows, it's honestly like a trade-off, right? So it's like time spent versus money saved. The last thing I want to show you is GenSpark Claw, and you've probably seen that throughout this video. It says free today at the time of recording. It's also on the side. You can hit Claw, and this is GenSpark Claw, your first AI employee. So you can see that we can actually get started, and there is a download that we can do for Windows or Mac, and we can install this into our computer. So you can actually use the desktop client to operate your local computer, your local operating system, Windows or Mac. And by using computer use to handle your local files, you're streamlining the handoff between like your local machine and the cloud. You can design prompts with AI, execute them with Claw, and you're going to be able to keep each task in a shorter session. You can take repeated workflows and save them as skills. As I mentioned earlier, always try to keep your chats limited. So don't be afraid to start a new chat session. Always use the right model for the task. So don't use like the highest end model for a very simple task. It's not needed. Definitely dive into channel tasks, upload only necessary files that the AI may need, and most importantly, your first prompt that you give it. Format it with your goal, the output format you're looking for, and the stopping condition. This will help you reduce that back and forth to help you save money. What does this all look like in practice? Well, I have GenSpark Claw installed and let me sign in. And now I just have to sit back and relax for a minute or two while it installs all the AI tools that it needs to access GenSpark Claw. And again, just sticking to the theme of the video, reducing your credits, it actually goes through and tells you how Claw uses your credits. So through your chat session, through scheduled tasks, a heartbeat. So every 30 minutes, it's going to check for events. So we can actually disable scheduled tabs if we don't need it, and that will help reduce your costs. So maybe you're not doing something that's scheduled that you want to run every 30 minutes. Turn that off. And you also have model selection, which I was talking about before, and don't be shy to start a new session. We can say got it. And now you can actually see we actually have OpenClaw, GenClaw running on our local machine. So we can see, hey, we have access to our first AI employee. So you can see on the right, we have like popular tasks. So we can say, hey, I want to organize my desktop, or I want to start my downloads, clean up old screenshots. Let's just start with like sort my downloads, and we can hit go, and it's gonna actually go through my download folder and sort all of my files. And it is pretty messy, and it's gonna be able to do that for me. So now I'm using AI again to help reduce and save me time, which is saving me money. So it says, good, I have a good clear picture of what's there. And it's literally going through all my files right now, and it's going to start organizing and sorting them in my downloads folder all in one click. Now, going back to that whole scheduled task thing, I can say, hey, I want to organize all my files like every night when I go to sleep. So run this at 3 a.m. every day. I can do that if I want. I can have OpenClaw just take over my computer and make sure everything is tidy and clean. And this is what it came back with. It organized everything. So we have like audio folder, and it has like a subfolder within there called music, voice recording, wave files. We can see videos, images. It sorted and cleaned up my entire computer. And that's all from a single click on the right under like popular tasks. If we keep scrolling down, we can see, okay, email attachments. We can merge PDFs. We can do like browser article into a note. We can just say, hey, find job applications and fill them out for me, or take receipts and fill in an expense sheet. There's so much we can do just automatically using OpenClaw. Maybe we want to batch edit photos. We can do that as well. Again, you want to go through my list of tips and tricks that I talked about earlier when using GenClaw so you can save yourself money. So start that brand new chat. Be clear on your prompt. And just for some like completion's sake, don't forget to do the tutorial. You can make it personal. You can say, okay, this is what I want for like my daily briefing. You can go through all of these different settings. You can even connect different channels so you can talk to your OpenClaw so you can access it when you're like away from your computer. And again, here is the schedules. This is what I was talking about. You can say, okay, I want to see the heartbeat every 30 minutes, or maybe you want to disable the heartbeat. You have that as an option as well. And I was talking about skills. You can enable or disable skills. You can create skills. So you can just like have a skill for something that's going to repeat. So maybe we want to turn our like little download cleaner into a skill. We can actually enable it, create it as a skill, then enable it, and now it lives here on the right. The last and final trick I'm going to give you in terms of saving money with GenSpark, and it's the most efficient way to use any AI. It's not to let it do the work for you, but it's to use it as a collaborator. When you use guide mode and advanced workflows, or you're like extending a video, you're not just saving compute, you're not just saving money, you're exerting human judgment where it counts. You're ensuring that AI delivers exactly what your creative vision demands. If you're interested in GenSpark, check out the link in the description below or in the pinned comment. When you sign up, you do get some free credit, and GenSpark is now offering a get started bonus. So if you're a brand new user, you do get access to premium features like AI web app building and deep research completely free. And they also have like simple tasks where you can just earn additional credit. GenSpark does a lot. Again, check it out, link in the description below or the pinned comment. Let me know in the comments below, did my guide and my tips throughout this video help you save money while using GenSpark? I think the guided mode is phenomenal. You're going to get exactly what you want without having to like regenerate slides over and over. And don't forget to like the video, tells the algorithm you enjoy this type of content and you want to see more of it. And don't forget to subscribe for the latest and greatest AI so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on in the AI world. Especially if you lasted this long throughout the video and you're not subscribed, go do it. It's free. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow with another AI video.
Right there, AI tools, AI news, AI prompts you can use. It's all for free, just come and see at FranklinAI.com where you're meant to be.